the bid opening of one for the goods and services, and pre-bid for the civil works and goods and services. So to start, maybe I'll stand for the prayer. Then of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we bow before your presence today with faith, humility, and thanksgiving for the chance to meet again. As we prepare to start this procurement activity, please send your Holy Spirit to guide us and may fill us with the wisdom and confidence as we conduct this activity. May grant us the patience and understanding to remain resilient to life's challenges and face them with grace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So once again, good morning. May I introduce you now to the members of the BAC, headed by our BAC Vice Chairman, Engineer Arturo Prepose, and BAC members, Attorney Mary Rose Milo, Engineer Daisy Manzano, and Engineer Wheeler Vincent. For the technical working group, we have the members of the technical working group, Engineer Dexter Cabanero and Architect Donald Rimando. For the Secretariat, there's Tully Reniero Salinas, and we have here our IT support, Sir Von Carwin. Sir, majority of the BAC members are present. There's a quorum, sir.
Thank you, Rinya. As mentioned, there is a quorum. The bid opening for one goods is now called out. Do you have any attending observers, Rinya?
Sir, we have attending online. He is from NACAP, Sir Jose Leito III. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. And good morning to the BAC and TWH.
Good morning, Sir Rosalito. Also, with our attending supplier.
For our bidders and prospective bidders, we have from Cable Sales Engineer. We have Sir John Dexter Ablay and Sir Ma'am Medj Gagliarte. From Premier Petrol Gas Station, Sir John Peter Bulasok. Morning, sir. That's all, sir.
Let's now open the bid box. Okay, you may now open the submitted bid proposal.
We have only one bidder, sir, for 24 GA 00052. Cable Bigman Incorporated. the checklist of technical documents for contract ID number 24GA00052. We have a loan supplier, Cable Equipment Incorporated. Pass the checklist of technical documents and the form of bid security submitted, bid security declaration. Manaoag officer, the financial component for contract ID number 24GA00052 for Cable Equipment Incorporated. For the checklist of financial envelope for contract ID number 24GA 00052. We have Cable Equipment Incorporated pass checklist of financial envelope. And the total amount of bid as read is 34,190,000. The overall rating for Cable Equipment Incorporated pass. So that's all for 24GA 00052.
Thank you, Rainier. And our technical working group may review and check also the submitted documents for the evaluation and post qualification. Any comment from our tower observer online?
Good morning.
Pero si Vito.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Mr. Chair, can you hear me? Mr. Chair, the procurement activity, though participated by a sole bidder, is in order. No irregularities observed, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Any other matters on our agenda?
We have still the pre-bid conference, sir, for the goods and services and for civil work.
Okay, the bid opening for one group for today is now adjourned. Thank you. Thank you.
For the goods and services, we have the pre-bid conference for contract ID numbers 24GA 00053, supply and delivery of fuel for use in the operation of various service vehicle and heavy equipment for the second quarter of 2025, and 25GA 00006, the purchase and delivery of parts, materials, and lube oil for use in the preventive maintenance of DPWH cutter suction dredge, Visayas 1, SDEC 12-5, pressure station at Pantal River, Dagupan City, Pangasinan. So we have the following contract data for 24GA 00053, locations at Fernando City, La Union, with the funding source SR 2024-01-00-1877, dated January 27, 2024, with the EBC of 3,210,000. The scope of works, we have the supply and delivery of fuel for the contract duration of 90 calendar days. 25GA 00006, location Dagupan City, Pangasinan, with the funding source SR 2025-03-009942, with the EBC of 1,864,175 pesos and 73 centavos. For the scope of works, with the purchase and delivery of parts, materials, and lube oil for the contract duration of 275 calendar days. Here are the technical requirements. We have the Class A documents, legal documents, valid field jets, certificate of registration, platinum membership, all pages. We have the records of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including awarded but not yet started. Records of single largest completed contract or the SLCC similar to contract. Adjusted to the current price using the PSA, current price index, should have the contract amount equivalent to at least 50% of the EBC. A contract should be considered similar to the contract to be bid if it has the same major categories of work. Original copy of bid security is in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid security declaration in conformity with the technical specification, which may include production, delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and or after sales parts, if applicable, and original duly signed omnibus short statement. And if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of incorporation, partnership or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the omnibus short statement and do acts to represent the bidder. For the financial documents, we have the audited financial statement, stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. For the NFCC or line of credit, computation of the NFCC of at least equal to the ABC computed using the prescribed formula, wherein the NFCC equals current assets minus current liabilities times the K factor 15 minus value of unfinished projects, including awarded projects not yet started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. Or a bidder may submit a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. For the Class B documents for the joint venture, if applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the joint venture agreement in the instance that the bid is successful. For the financial requirements, we have the original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, original of duly signed and accomplished price schedule. For the bid security, we have the bid validity period and bid security validity period to be 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. The bidder shall submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security enumerated below. We have the cash or cashier's manager's check, bank draft guarantee, or the revocable line of credit is 2% of the ABC, when the surety bond is 5% of the ABC. For the bid evaluation, the financial component of the bids of each past bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid prices. The bank shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the ABC. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices: completeness, no present required item was non-complying, indicating a zero or a dash was paid to the government. All prices are deemed to include all taxes. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable BOQ, shall be considered non-responsive. Arithmetical corrections, bid prices and figures versus words, the words prevails. Total price versus unit price per item, the unit price prevails. Total price versus actual sum of component items, the actual prevails. Unit cost in detailed estimate versus unit cost in the BOQ, the latter prevails. If above ABC is considered non-complying. For the post-qualification, it's the verification of the legal requirements, licenses, certificates, permits, non-inclusion in the blacklist, technical requirements. We have the SLCC, similar to the contract. Performance in ongoing government-private contracts. Delayed the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government-private contracts. If any of these contracts shows the bidder's failure to deliver or perform any or all of the goods or services within the periods specified in the contract or within any extension granted by the procuring entity pursuant to a request made by the supplier prior to the delay, in such failure amounts to at least 10% of the price, or in unsatisfactory performance of the supplier's obligations as per terms and conditions at the time of inspection. latent damages currently imposed on the supplier, authenticity of bid security. For the financial requirement, we have the audited financial statement, up-to-date value of all outstanding or are completed works, undergoing and awarded contracts, updated NFCC or line of credit versus the ABC. For the contract award, the contract shall be awarded to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid or as a result of the detailed evaluation and post qualification conducted. The successful bidder shall be notified through the issuance of the notice of award within the bid validity period and must be confirmed by the successful bidder in writing within 10 days upon receipt in accordance with section 37.2.2 of the 2016 revised IRR of RE 9184. Here are the common reasons for rejection of bids, ineligibility, and post disqualification of bidder. Late bid, no letter of authority from the company to submit the bidding documents, failure to submit supporting documents to support compliance with the requirement, submitting forms not acceptable pursuant to the provisions of the revised IRR of RE 9184, NFCC less than the ABC or the amount of credit line commitment is less than 10% of the ABC. For bid security, surety bond, callable on demand, and validity of 120 days, not described in the bond. Failure to submit original copy of the surety bond certified by the Insurance Commission, indicating the name, project, the procuring entity, and name of contractor. Shorter bid validity and bid security validity period. Bid prices higher than the ABC. Delaying the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government and private contracts. So for these projects, contract ID number 24DA00053 and 25DA00006, the deadline for the submission of clarification is 10 days before submission of bids. The deadline for the submission of bids is on June 16, 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m. Number of copies of bid proposal, one original copy of the technical and financial proposal. For the place of submission of bids, Bids and Awards Committee, second floor, conference room, DPWH Regional Office 1, City of San Fernando, Laguna. So that ends the presentation of the bid conference for the goods and services.
Thank you, Rene. That's conclude the presentation and the details of the goods and services. Any? Thank you. And please take note on the deadline of submission on June 16, 2025.
So we proceed, sir,
Okay.
with the goods and civil works for the bid conference.
Rene, there will be a when mag-attend doon naman sa civil works.
Season.
May mag-attend sa civil works. Pero hintayin natin.
Dapat ba?
Pati ano ka? Okay, let's continue.
For the civil works, we have 4 civil works project for the Preventive Conference, 25A00522, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, construction of multipurpose building, University of the Grandstand, Mariano Marcos State University, Batac Campus, City of Batac, Ilocos Norte, 25A00547, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, construction of multipurpose hall and command center, Manaoag Municipal Hall Building, Manaoag, Pangasinan. 25A00548, Convergence and Special Support Program, Rainwater Collector System, and 24A00682, the construction multipurpose facility, SDEC, Camp Captain Valentin S1, Barangay 23, San Matias, Laoag City, Ilocos Norte.
The purpose of Preventive Conference is to discuss, clarify, and explain the different aspects of the projects of the procuring entity with the prospective bidders. It must be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for bid submission, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the advertisement or posting of bid opportunity.
So we have the following contract data, 25A00522, location, City of Batac, Ilocos Norte, with the ABC of 94,050,000. For the scope of works, we have the excavation for isolated footings, embedded columns, embankment for elevated floor line, 0.8 meter, concrete works, footing, grade beams, columns, steel works, roofing works, high tensile fabric, construction of CHP walls, masonry and plastering works, painting works, masonry and steel painting, installation of glass railing, 12mm thick, ceiling works, tile works, tinsmitry works, electrical works, plumbing works, supply installation of air conditioning units, supply installation of fire extinguishers, supply installation of generator set, site development, track and field oval, geotechnical exploration, 4 boreholes at 30-meter each, with a contract duration of 360 calendar days. 25A00547, location, Manaoag, Pangasinan, with the ABC of 9,900,000. For the scope of works and the removal of structures and obstruction, concrete works, installation of drywall, ceiling works, installation of doors and windows, painting works, ceiling works, tile works, electrical works, plumbing works, mechanical works, with the contract duration of 300 calendar days. 25A00548, location, Pangasinan and La Union, with the ABC of 9,264,000. It's for the various schools with the following scope of works, with the contract duration of 210 calendar days. 24A00682, location, Laoag City, Ilocos Norte, with the funding source, the trust liability, with the EPC of 4,975,000. For the scope of works, with the installation of private billboard, signboard, excavation works, footing works, grade beam, embedded columns, embankment of common soil for elevated floor slab, 0.45 meter, construction of structural frame, footing to roof beam, 2-story, construction of masonry wall with plastering ground floor, application of cementitious waterproofing on suspended slab, secondary floor, fabrication of doors and windows, ground floor, plumbing works, ground floor, electrical works, ground floor, for the contract duration of 120 calendar days.
Supplemental Bid Bulletin issued by BAC to answer requests for clarification, queries submitted 10 calendar days before deadline or interpretation, and upon BAC's initiative to clarify or modify any provision of bidding documents at least 7 calendar days before deadline for bids. Posted in FieldJobs and procuring entities' website and at any conspicuous place within the premises of the procuring entity. Bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of supplemental bid bulletin must be informed in writing and allowed to modify or withdraw their respective bids. Submission and receipt of bids. Checklist of technical documents Class A. Legal documents. Valid PhilJIPS registration certificate, platinum membership, in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the IRR. Per GPPB Resolution Number 18-2017, in lieu of the Class A eligibility documents, which were uploaded and maintained current and updated in PhilJIPS, bidders are required to submit their PhilJIPS certificate of registration during bid submission in the case infrastructure projects, pursuant to Section 25.2 BI of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. Additional for the checklist of technical documents, Class A technical documents. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules, and special pickup license in case of joint ventures, and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. Original surety. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. Bid validity period, 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. Bid security validity period, 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. The bidder shall submit a bid securing declaration or any form of bid security enumerated below. Cash or cashier's manager check issued by a universal or commercial bank, 2%. Bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a universal or commercial bank, 2%. And surety bond called upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, 5%. Project requirements which shall include the following: organizational chart for the contract to be bid, list of contractors' key personnel, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. List of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be. For the laboratory equipment, please refer to DPWH Department Order Number 11, Series of 2017 for the minimum materials testing equipment. Original duly signed Omnibus Sworn Statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized Secretary's Certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the Omnibus Sworn Statement and do acts to represent the bidder. For the financial documents, the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC, computation of NFCC of at least equal to ABC, computed using the prescribed formula. NFCC equals current assets minus current liabilities times 15 minus value of unfinished projects, including awarded projects not yet started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. Class B documents, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with RA number 4566 and its IRR in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the joint venture agreement in the instance that the bid is successful. Checklist of financial documents. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form and other documentary requirements under RA number 9184. Original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. Duly accomplished detailed estimates form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid, and cash flow by quarter. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically or online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. Similar to manual submission, the guidelines for the preparation and submission of an electronic bid are contained in Bid Data Sheet ITB Clause 17 and Department Order Number 87, Series of 2020. Bid Evaluation. The financial component of the bids of each past bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid prices. The BAC shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the ABC. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices. Completeness. No price in required item equals non-complying. Indicating a zero or a dash equals free to the GOP. All prices are deemed to include all taxes. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable BOQ, shall be considered non-responsive. Arithmetical corrections. Bid prices in figures versus words, words prevails. Total price versus unit price per item, unit price prevails. Total price versus actual sum of component items, actual prevails. Unit cost in detailed estimate versus unit cost in BOQ, the latter prevails. If above ABC, non-complying. Post-qualification. Verification of legal requirements. Licenses, certificates, permits, non-inclusion in blacklist. For technical requirements, single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract. Key personnel, minimum work experience requirements should be satisfied. Availability and commitment of major construction equipment. Failure of the prospective bidder to state a complete technical description of the pledged equipment and the specific location, whether owned, leased, or under purchased agreement, shall result in the bidder's automatic post-disqualification for award of contract and forfeiture of its bid security per DO number 58, series of 2012. Performance in ongoing government and private contracts. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or negative slippage of at least 10% in each of two or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair work and complete ongoing contracts in the prescribed date after receipt of the notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificate of acceptance in the prescribed date after the receipt of the notice of defects and failures. Substandard quality of works or unsatisfactory performance per contract term and conditions at the time of inspection. Liquidated damages currently imposed on the contractor. DO number 127, series of 2018, strict application of RA 9184 in the conduct of the post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contract with DPWH. Authenticity and correctness of bid security. For financial requirements, audited financial statement or AFS, especially current assets and liabilities. Up-to-date value of all outstanding or uncompleted works under ongoing and awarded contracts. Updated NFCC versus ABC. Requirements within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the BAC that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid or highest rated bid. The bidder shall submit to the BAC the following: registration certificate from SEC, Department of Trade and Industry, for sole proprietorship or CDA for cooperatives. Mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. Latest income tax and business returns duly stamped and received by BIR and duly validated with the tax payments. Tax clearance per EO 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Valid Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB license. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of this IRR. Notes on the personnel and equipment requirements of the project. As per DO number 9 series of 2012, technical requirements for civil works projects for public bidding. If a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the same time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract, and he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office. The bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that the said personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded the contract under bidding. These certifications shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. Also to be verified during post-qualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should specify in the submitted bid the location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. For the contract award, the contract shall be awarded to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid as a result of the detailed evaluation and post-qualification conducted. The successful bidder shall be notified through the issuance of notice of award within the bid validity period and must be conferred by the successful bidder in writing within 10 days upon receipt thereof in accordance with Section 37.2.2 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. Common reasons for rejection of bids, ineligibility, and post-disqualification of bidder. Failure to submit original copy of the surety bond certified by the Insurance Commission indicating the name of project, the procuring entity, and name of contractor. Shorter bid validity and bid security validity period. Overlapping of pledged equipment and committed key technical personnel. Failure to indicate the validity of bid in the bid form. Late submission of bid. Failure to submit supporting documents like certification of availability of equipments from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project if equipment pledged is to be leased or purchased. Negative slippage in the ongoing projects, negative 15% or more, or negative 10% in each of 2 or more ongoing projects. Unsatisfactory CPAS rating. Common errors in the submission of bids. Incomplete pages of bid documents, technical and financial. Authority of the signatory to sign on behalf of the bidder. For single proprietor, signatory should be the owner or proprietor only. For corporation or cooperative, board secretary certificate and board resolution. For joint venture resolution or agreement. and for partnership as indicated in the Articles of Partnership.
So for these following projects under the civil works, 25A00522, 25A00547, 25A00548, and 24A00682. We have the deadline for submission of clarification is 10 days. Before the submission of bids, the deadline for submission of bids is on June 16, 2025 at 10 o'clock AM. The number of copies of bid proposal, one original copy of the technical and financial bid, and the place of submission of bids, second floor conference room, DPWH Regional Office 1, City of San Fernando, La Union. So that answered the presentation of the Preventive conference for the 4 civil works project.
Thank you, Secretariat. That concludes the presentation and details for the Preventive conference of 4 civil works. Anything?
Sir, we will verify the attending observer kung meron pa lang.
Ay kung nandyan siya. Naka-online na? Wala pa rin.
Sir, pa lang. Okay, good.
Yan natin. Okay, we have just finished one bid opinion for goods and services, 2 pre-bid conference for goods and services also, and the 4 pre-bid conference, the 4 civil works pre-bid conference. No more the attendee for the one is no longer present, the 62. Okay, the activities for today is now adjourned. Thank you, Secretariat. Back member, IT and PWD. Good morning to everybody.